Hi, good morning. Trying to do this before I get to work for the day, and had some other footage left from the weekend that I was trying to convert. A lot of times, folks make it really complicated how to get started doing any kind of fitness, whether it's walking, running, whatever. And I had a professor in seminary that used to say in our total wellness and the minister class that the she she told us to take the 5-step challenge. So basically, uh, get on the shoes, take about 5 steps out the door, and if you aren't feeling it, try another 5 steps until gradually you got to the place where, because that's the hardest thing sometimes, is just deciding to do it, to get it done. And so anyway, with that, Sunday morning I kind of put together my doings as far as going out for a walk. Now, I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't like record it on my watch for fancy time. I was just basically trying to ensure that I got my steps in, because Sundays are a day that end up a little bit more sedentary for me with just, you're sitting in worship, you're going to eat, usually with the family. And so it's, while there are times for activity, we kind of get into this habit of day of rest, meaning just being totally sedentary. And so I just decided to go ahead and try to get my miles in, get it done. So this is a recording of that, and I'll kind of commentary along the way as we go. But first I want to start out with, a lot of folks are like, yeah, but I don't have anyone to walk with. What am I going to do? What am I going to listen to? What podcast should I listen to? What music should I listen to? A real simple thing for me, so I don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it. Some friends and I are actually doing a read through the Bible thing. It's from the YouVersion Bible app, and we're on a reading plan that's the 1-year Chronological Bible. We've been reading through it this year, and once you get into the actual passage for the day, you can just set it to play, and it will just play in the background, and you can have it read to you in your particular flavor or version of the text. And so then I put that on in my headphones, or if I don't have any headphones and I know there ain't going to be a lot of people that I can bother, I'll just let it play through the smartphone speaker out loud. I try not to do that if there are going to be people around, or if it's going to be a race, unless I know folks want to do it. Along the way, as I was walking, I saw this nice fresh blossoming of honeysuckle. Probably going to attack my sinuses later, but it was gorgeous to look at and had a nice aroma as I walked through. We have a little pond near our house, and the Canadian geese have some little goslings. Got a little footage of them, and they're getting along. Usually these geese are my nemesis on the trail. They can be kind of nasty, and I find that if I clap, it will kind of scatter them, get them to move out of the way, because if you get too close to them, they will hiss like a cat and try to bite you, I guess. And that's even when they don't have goslings. But so here I'm starting to make my way around the pond. One thing I wanted to point out at this point in the video, just for the footage and shooting, and I knew that there wasn't much traffic this time of the day, I'm walking on the right side of the road. That is actually incorrect, and I'll show you a little bit about that later. But I was also avoiding a puddle that was on the left side of the road as well. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But as we're going along here, so this is our neighborhood pond. There were some ducks, some little mallards, and then here I start to tell you, see, actually you're supposed to walk facing the traffic so that you can see what's coming at you. If you walk on the right side of the road, the same road in the United States where the cars are traveling the same direction that you're walking, you will not see them when they're coming up on you. And if you got in headphones or something else, you won't even hear them. And so it's very important that you walk against the flow of traffic. That way you can see things, especially nowadays if folks are on their cell phone, they're not paying attention, you can be paying attention. So I caught a couple of trees that are pretty much in the last stages there. They are dying. I don't know if they got struck by lightning at some point. Here's our big majestic waterfall. It was actually just found some trickling water there along the side. And here I saw a bunch of grass where it was cut out there. Now I'm not a motorcyclist, but I have heard this is not a good practice. This stuff is like running over an oil slick for them. So if you're out there, try to be mindful, care, and don't discharge your grass clippings out onto the street, because I know this road doesn't travel very much and not very much by motorcyclists, but if you live somewhere where they are coming through, try to be considerate. We all share the roadways, and it's an important thing. There's some lovely cypress knees if someone's not really seeing a whole lot of them in the wild. And it's amazing in our little town how many little touches of nature that you can see all around. And so I keep trudging along, making the loop of the pond. Generally, if I go out from my house, around this pond, and then back to the house, it's about 1.5 miles. There's a genuine Louisiana flat bottom boat, also known as a pirogue, for those that are not familiar. Anyway, a little bit of Louisiana culture there for you. Continuing along, here's more cypress trees along the pond. And so it doesn't even have to be a super fast pace that you're walking. I know some of this video is double timed and smooth, just so that y'all don't have to be with me the full. This 1.5 miles usually takes me, if I'm not going really fast, takes me about I would estimate probably about 20 minutes or more, 20 to 30 minutes maybe, depending on if I'm really just strolling. There's that other tree that was struck by lightning from the backside, or either way it's starting to die. It's getting to its last stages. Then I caught a surprise visitor, and I didn't get a real good shot of him through the bushes, but you can see back there is a egret taking off, skimming across the water. I got a little too close for his comfort, so he's chilling on the other side of the pond. So, alright, that'll give me at least a good 7 to 10 minutes before you get back around here. So, strolling back around, I usually don't catch these guys this late in the day. This next segment that we're about to come to, anyway, there's a yellow sign posted land, so they don't want everybody fishing out there on the pond. But I usually don't catch these guys. If you see this little streak in the water, they're usually early in the morning, right when the sun rises, not so late in the day. But we've got a couple of beavers that, there he is, or she is, swimming along, and apparently they've made their dam or their den right around that little island area in the middle of the pond. And so occasionally I'll catch them. One day they nearly scared me as bad as I scared them. I was walking along and was not aware. It was one of the first times I'd ever seen them, and I come up and I hear this god awful loud splash and take off, and apparently he was on the bank and jumped into the water and took off. So but yeah, occasionally I can catch them as well. So I mean, one little stroll around your neighborhood, I saw geese and goslings, ducks, a beaver, and an egret. and that was in less than 30 minutes. It's pretty amazing um, how much we take for granted just the little things that one can see along, even in their own neighborhood. Um, Now, of course, I'm able to pay a lot of attention to these things because I have walked many a mile on this same stretch of road. But that's just kind of par for the course in the territory. So one last little bit coming up, there was this magnolia tree, and we have a lot of magnolias in Mississippi and Louisiana. And if you'll notice, as we look at the tree, you'll notice there's some that are kind of a golden, orangish, or brownish color, and then there's some that are white, um, really bright white. The magnolia flower is a very kind of fragile flower. It only lasts for a little while and gets bruised or hits its life cycle and then kind of sheds off, and it turns into this darker sort of mess as it starts to go away. And they can be beautiful at certain stages, but you see we've got a ton of buds that are still waiting to pop out, and it'll look like there's fresh puffs of laundry or cotton on this tree as you look. But as I saw that tree that day, it made me think of a certain movie called Steel Magnolias. Now, it's interesting, the name of that movie, a lot of people don't think about it, but typically the magnolia is a frail and fragile flower, and gosh, I lost her name, but anyway, the main character that plays Malin in Steel Magnolias, man, I can't come up with it right now. Anyway, she says, it's like they're supposed to be made of steel or something. And so connects with the title. Steel magnolia would be a thing where it's perceived that it's supposed to be frail and fragile and stuff, but it endures. It goes through the hard times, and it takes what comes at it. And if you've ever seen the movie, that's kind of the essence of those ladies' stories. Well, I also was thinking of this because of the passing of Olympia Dukakis, who played Clary within Steel Magnolias. Great character, great interaction with Weezer, Boudreaux in the movie, and a personal fave. But Steel Magnolias is also near and dear to my heart because of my time as a student at the residential high school known as the Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts. Steel Magnolias was filmed in Natchitoches. The Louisiana School is within Natchitoches, and some of our very own faculty and staff show up in certain scenes, and it's like a little piece of home seeing that again. So here I am trying to finish out my miles. I was just doing step counts. Of course, it only stays up for a little while, so I bring it back up to show you. It gives me a little celebration when I reach the step goal for the day, and I can automate this, or I can make it my own thing, however long that I want it to be. And here it goes. The other thing you'll notice is as I was holding my arm like this, it doesn't really move the counter a whole lot. That's one thing I learned about my Ainsley's races, is that if I am pushing this, or if I'm pushing a cart in the store or something, if this wrist is staying stable and not swinging at my side, like when I'm walking or running, it's not registering. It's not getting a whole lot of that sort of stuff. So step count is just a general measure. It works pretty good for things, but it's not end-all be-all. And so with that, just a little bit of things of stuff that you can do. You can get you like a Bible app or something, or you can listen to a podcast, music, whatever. But just something simple to accompany you if you're going to be by yourself doing this, and just get out there, take a few steps. See if you can hit that step goal on your cell phone or whatever. I happen to have this. This is the Garmin Forerunner 35. I like the entry level ones because as they bump up and add features that were new features on their higher end watches, it meets the needs for what I need. And you can get these pretty cheap nowadays. I think they're about less than $100 with sales that are going on and stuff. But anyway, just a little thing about how to get some steps in, get some walking. We may go into more detailed techniques or things that I've done in the past and may be using in upcoming times. But till next time.